Hello children. Today I'll explain you the poem Throwing a Tree. It has been written by Thomas Hardy. Thomas Hardy was an English novelist and poet. His writing shows a great sense of respect and admiration for nature. He was born on 2nd June 1840 and died on 11th January 1928. While Hardy wrote poetry throughout his life and regarded himself primarily as a poet, his first collection was not published until 1898. So, initially, therefore, he gained fame as the author of novels. So, you can see the deforestation in this picture. So, it is truly said that nature provides for our need, not for greed. So here in this poem, Hardy has raised an issue of deforestation. As we all know, trees are one of the most important resources of the planet we live in. So trees are truly important to the environment, animals, and of course for us, that is we human beings. However, the trees on our planet are being depleted at a very fast rate. So, in this poem, Hardy describes how a large, strong tree, which has lived for some 200 years, is cut down by two woodcutters within a couple of hours. The poem shows a deep feeling for the tree and depicts its falling as an act of unfeeling cruelty. Throwing a tree shows that nature plays victim to man and his ruthless pursuit of progress. So, Thomas Hardy wants to express his anger towards the harm caused to nature by men's self centered activities. The poet describes how a large, strong tree, which has lived for many years, is cut down by two woodcutters, march into the forest like executioners who carry out a death sentence. They went towards the tree, which was marked earlier to be chopped off. They swing axes, the chips fly around. Chips here are the barks of a tree. So they fly around and form a layer upon the mass and falling leaves. When they began to saw, the tree just shakes because it was a strong tree which has lived for many years. Then they tug a rope and try to pull the tree. The tree falls with a great shout because it was a huge tree, so obviously it will make a sound when it will going to fall down, and it shakes all the neighboring areas. This shows the strength and enormity of the long-lived tree. Also, the neighborhood trees fear that they would also meet with the same fate. The poem shows a deep feeling for a tree and depicts it fully as an act of cruelty. So, this was the summary of the poem. Now, I am giving you a line wise explanation. So, in the beginning, let's see. The line is: the two executioners stalk along over the knolls, bearing two axes with heavy heads shining and wide, and a long limp two-handled saw toothed for cutting great boughs. And so they approach the proud tree that bears the death mark on its side. So the two executioners come near their victim, the tree with axe and shining saw. Here the poet calls the woodcutters executioners because executioner, what is the work of an executioner? Executioner kill people. So the poet is using a metaphor over here to call the woodcutters who kill the tree. Okay, so here you can see the two executioners stalk along over the knolls. The two executioners here are the two woodcutters. Okay, knoll over here is, what is the meaning of knoll? A small hill. So here it has been shown that the two woodcutters who are called executioners walked over the small round hill before they cut down the tree. Now in the second line, bearing two axes with heavy heads shining and white, and a long limp two-handled saw toothed for cutting great boughs. So here they were bearing, means they were carrying two large axes, okay, and a saw to cut the trunks of tree. A long limp two-handled saw. What is it? Let me show you the picture. This is two-handled long limp. Okay, it has been said about this instrument, okay, that apparatus which is used to cut the tree. Okay, so that tree, so they were carrying two large axes and a saw to cut the trunks of tree. That tree was already bearing a cross marked by someone. Okay? And so they approached the proud tree and bears the death mark on it. The death mark on it is, means you might have seen the woodcutters, what do they do when they have to cut the particular tree? They mark a cross on it with the help of an axe only. Okay, so that is why it has been said that that particular tree was bearing a cross marked by someone who selected it to cut it down. So here the poet introduces, even the poet calls the tree a proud tree. Okay, why is that so? Here the poet introduces the tree as proud just to tell that how it stands tall and erect till it comes crashing down. Hopefully the first stanza is clear to you all. Now look at the second stanza. Jackets doffed, they swing axes and chop away just above ground, and the chips fly about and lie white on the moss and fallen leaves, till a broad deep gash in the bark is hewn all the way round, and one of them tries to hook upward a rope which at last he achieves. After that, the woodcutters removed, because they have to cut the tree, so in order to feel themselves comfortable, so they removed their jackets and move their axe to chop the tree. Okay, in this process the leaves of the tree fall and also little pieces of the bark fly off the tree. Here the chips are the bark of the tree. They make deep gashes on the tree, yet the tree, which has taken years to grow, is so strong that it does not come down easily. Means the saw then begin till the top of, jackets doff they swing. Jackets doff means they removed their jacket, they put off their jacket, then they moved they move their axe and chop away just above ground. Means they started cutting the trunk, and the chips fly about, means the bark of the, because they were cutting the tree, now they have started the process of cutting the tree, so the chips are the bark of the tree, they started flying and lie white on the moss and falling leaves. Even the leaves started falling from the tree, and means a heap of leaves and the barks collected around it. Is that clear? Till a broad deep gash in the bark is hewn all the way round. Now the gash over here is the mark, means जब आप tree को cut करते हो तो वो side से कटना शुरू हो जाता है. That is what is happening. In one of the picture it has been shown also. Like that. They have started cutting the tree. Okay, तो जब वो काटेंगे तो obviously उसको वो कटता रहेगा. This is what it was happening. So they make a deep gashes on the tree, yet the tree did not fall, because it was a strong tree. It took years to grow and it was strong, so it does not come down easily. So then what did the next step they took? till a broad deep gash in the bark is hewn all the way round, and one of them tries to hook upward a rope. So they then tie a rope to the top of the tree to pull it down. They had to sawing and pulling the tree to bring it down. It turned out to be a very difficult job for them, as the tree has grown strong and sturdy, absorbing years of sunlight, air, and water. So, now in the third stanza, it has been shown the lines are like that. The saw then begins till the top of the tall giant shivers. The shivers are seen to grow greater with each cut than before. They edge out the saw, tug the rope, but the tree only quivers. And kneeling and sawing again, they step back to try pulling once more. As I told you that after tying a rope to the top of the tree, they had to keep sawing and pulling the tree. Now they were using that instrument. After using the axe, what they used? They used saw. As I showed you in the picture also, they started cutting the tree with the help of the saw. Okay, so till the giant tree means even they in the earlier stanza they use the word proud tree. Now here they are calling the tree as a giant tree because it was a huge tree, big tree. So and it was nearly 200 years old. So when they first of all what did they do? They first of all tried to cut it with an axe. Then secondly they try to pull it down with the help of a rope. Okay, then the third thing they did, they try to cut it down with the help of the saw. But what happened? It shakes slightly. With every cut the tree gets weaker. Obviously when they kept on cutting and cutting, then the tree gets weaker. Here the poet wants to say that despite the executioner's great effort to pull it down and their hours of continuous labor, the tree only quivers. Okay? Describing the tree's resilience despite the fact that they are hacking at it mercilessly. Now in the fourth stanza, then lastly the living mast further sways with a shout. Job and Ike rush aside, reach to the end of its long staying power. The tree crashes downwards, it shakes all its neighbors throughout, and 200 years' steady growth has been ended in less than 2 hours. So, at last, an old sturdy tree that has been nurtured for 200 years, and that is it took just 2 hours to destroy it. Now in the second line you can see Job and Ike has been written. These are the names of the two woodcutters. The name of the two executioners has been given over here. The woodcutters, that is Job and Ike, they moved quickly as the tree is about to fall. Even it shakes its neighbor. Here, shakes its neighbor means that when the tree fell to the ground, it fell with such a force that some of the other trees started shaking. So they started shaking. In the last two lines of the poem, the poet is showing us how the tree dies and its life of 200 years has come to an abrupt halt. The tree's neighbor even mourns its death. They shake as it falls, and this can be interpreted as both the fact that a great life has ended and the tree's neighbors are fearful that they will also meet with the same fate. So, this ends the explanation of the poem. Hopefully you have understood it, and if there is any problem with any of the line or any other problem if you are facing with this poem, then you can ask me in the live lecture. Thanks everybody. Take care.